Anambra State government warns traders against street trading. Nigeria Red Cross Society calls for construction of permanent holding centers for flood victims. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Has given maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the evening news. My name is Uchechukwu Ebonam. The Anambra governor's wife, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has asked those living in flood-prone communities in the state to immediately move to higher levels, grounds following national predictions that flood is imminent. Mrs. Soludo, who said this in Awka, explained that the recent emergency notices released by both the federal and state governments provide ample time to plan in order to minimize the ravages that could come with a natural disaster, and also disclose that the state government has already started making plans ahead of the incident, including engaging in collaborations with the federal government, local authorities, and global partners. She assured that the state is prioritizing the safety of women, children, and the elderly, with particular attention on containing any health, economic, or social emergencies that could arise as a result of the flood, asking those residing in flood-prone communities to prepare to move to the upland or designated holding facilities, as waiting for the flood to come before finding safety could be risky. She further urged the leadership of various communities, churches, and well-meaning individuals to give assistance to those who would need them at this time, and promised that her non-governmental movement, Healthy Living with Nonye Soludo initiative, will also access areas of need to help those who may get affected by the surge. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation and Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, recently identified 31 states, including Anambra, as high-risk areas for significant flood impacts in 2024. As Ember months begin, Anambra State government has issued a stern warning to traders against street trading in this season. They also warn residents of the state against indiscriminate dumping of waste, open defecation, and urination in unauthorized places. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike filed a report.
Director and Superintendent General of Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra Ocha Brigade, Comrade Celestine Anere, issued the warning on behalf of the state government in Awka while reminding the public of the laws prohibiting open defecation, street trading, and urinating in public places such as parks and walkways. Comrade Anere, who said that Ember months being a period of increased economic activities heralding the Yuletide, imagined that some traders may be tempted to leave their shops and trade on major roads to make brisk business, which necessitates the warnings. He asked traders to conduct their transactions inside the markets and reiterated that defaulters will be arrested and their goods confiscated by officers of the agency, even as he asked traders and their customers who might be trooping into the state from other states to be well informed on the Anambra environmental laws to avoid being victims. Comrade Anere also asked individuals who will host social events this season to provide temporary or mobile toilets for their guests to mitigate indiscriminate open defecation, as the hosts may attract necessary sanctions when such laws are flouted during such gatherings.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Nayo Bonoitam, has called on the newly recruited officers of Nigerian Hunters and Forest Security Services to work in synergy with other security agencies to make the state crime-free. Mr. Aitam made the call while opening the new office of the security outfit at Umuiri, Anambra East local government area. Correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim now reports.
Represented by the area commander in charge of Anambra East and West local government areas, Mr. Ogembe Arigu Eme, described the security men as the most vibrant hunters in Nigeria and advised them to limit their association with members of the public in order to function effectively. The Anambra State Police Commissioner charged them to discharge their duties with the fear of God and discipline, as well as avoid illegal duties, which he said can portray them in bad light, saying that he can only protect those who run into trouble in the course of discharging their legal duties. On his part, the Deputy Commander General, Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Services, Mr. John Meche, who is also the President General of Umueri Development Union, disclosed that the new intakes, who are more than 1,000 security personnel, will work within the forests and cities to curb criminality in the society. Mr. Meche, who noted that security situation in Nigeria is worrisome, said that the new intakes are volunteers who want to help in fighting crime in their different communities by collaborating with government and the police in many areas, including information gathering and dissemination.
We're going to be in the city to helping the police, the army, the DSS. We'll be gathering information and intel. We also work with them in terms of patrol to assist them.
In his remarks, the Assistant Commander General, Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Services, in charge of border post security, Mr. Chijioke Ihenwosu, also charged the newly recruited officers to have the mindset that they are security personnel by limiting their association with people in their localities and be very careful in their operations.
Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Services, we are ready. We have been trained and retrained to work with all agencies, especially in the forest, where we see something and then we say something.
Speaking, the Southeast Zonal Commander, Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Services, Mr. Mark Okonkwo, revealed that the newly recruited officers were drawn from all the local government areas in Anambra State and have been trained to salvage all forms of criminality within the forest, even as he advised them to be faithful and work with discipline to achieve the purpose of their recruitment. The Director, Department of State Security in Anambra East, Mr. Michael Otedo, assured that they will work together with the new intakes to fight crime in the area. Inspection of guard of honor mounted by men of Nigeria Hunters and Forest Security Services and commissioning of their new office by Mr. Arigueme were the climax of the occasion. From Umueri, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
An industrialist, Dr. Godwin Okafor, says Anambra State is making steady progress within 33 years of its creation. Speaking to the business correspondent, Abu Chinwozo, in his office at Aguoka Industrial Layout on the 33-year anniversary of Anambra State, Dr. Okafor, who commended the founding fathers of Anambra State for their foresight and resilience towards creation of the state on 27th August 1991, called for concerted efforts in order to sustain its growth and development. Dr. Okafor, who is the chairman and managing director of Winco Foam, called for the establishment of an industrial park in Anambra State for steady industrialization of the state. According to Dr. Okafor, the establishment of an industrial park in Anambra State will bring various industrial companies together, which he said will create robust business transactions and create more jobs for the teeming youths. He described Professor Chukwuma Soludo as a governor who has the interest of the people of the state at heart, saying that the governor has, within 2.5 years of his administration, brought positive changes in Anambra State through infrastructure, especially roads. Dr. Okafor, who is a community leader in the Sofia Agwata local government area, pointed out that the One Youth Two Skills initiative of the Soludo administration, which has gone into its second stage, will no doubt create more youth millionaires annually across the state and reduce crime to the barest minimum. Dr. Okafor used the opportunity to call on Anambra, whose businesses are scattered in different parts of the country, to bring part of their investments home and assist the government in the development of the state, reminding them of the need to embrace the private-public community partnership initiative of the present government in development. Still to come in the news tonight. Nigeria Red Cross Society calls for construction of permanent holding centers for flood victims. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total around maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. News returns shortly after the break.
I'm in love. Hey, mommy.
What?
Sonia tomato mix, stand up, pouch. Sonia tomato mix, stand up, pouch. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to store. Dishes come alive with so much taste. Stand up, pouch. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up, pouch.
I'm in love. Oh, with you, of course, my darling.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Welcome back to the rest of the news. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Red Cross Society, Anambra State Branch, Engineer Kingsley Okoye, has urged the state government to construct permanent holding centers for victims of flood disaster and any form of emergencies in the state. Engineer Okoye, who made the call while speaking with journalists, noted that the Nigerian Red Cross Society has always been proactive in managing flood disasters across the Federation and appreciated the Anambra State government for making concerted efforts to ensure the safe relocation of Ndi Anambra living in riverine areas in case of flooding in the state this year, as reported by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. He explained that the permanent holding centers can have features like different classes of rooms, good beds, hall, toilet facilities, good architectural design, among others. Engineer Okoye disclosed that the idea behind it is that it can serve multinational purposes and generate income for government when those affected by flood are not making use of it, and will also save government from spending huge sums of money every year on keeping flood victims at holding centers in public places like schools and churches. The Executive Secretary stated that the society has implemented the 2022 Economic Community of West African States intervention in Anambra by giving 600 families each 30,000 naira that will last for 3 months to cushion the effects of the 2022 flood menace on them. Members of Umudei family in Onitsha North local government area has appealed to Anambra State government to stop Oboseke family from trespassing into the land at Onitsha Sports Club, which was given to them on lease by the colonial government through federal government. The people made the appeal when they staged a peaceful protest in favor of Onitsha Sports Club at the facility in dispute. Correspondent Esther Asanya now reports.
The protesters displayed placards with inscriptions such as "We do not support violence. The area in dispute is our land," among others. Speaking to the ABS in an interview, the spokesman of the protester and chairman of Umudei family, Mr. Emeki Iwuanya, said they were the rightful owner of the area in dispute, which they leased to colonial government in 1910, and urged government to intervene into the matter and settle it amicably to avoid casualties. He also advised the club to continue to tour the paths of peace to resolve the matter for their own benefits.
The area covers, if you know, DMJ's roundabout, American quarters, get to Recreation Club, down. That is the area that belongs to Osieke. The right wing, including the courts, belong to our people. That's why we come here to register our displeasure.
Esther Asanya, ABS News.
The remains of a former member of Anambra State House of Assembly, Dr. Ernest Mado Onyekwena, has been laid to rest in Ufuma, Orumba North local government area of the state. Born in 1946 into the family of Onyekwena of Umwenebu village in late Onyekwena, with the traditional titles of Omekanaya I of Uvuma and Enebo of Umwenebu village, Ufuma, will have missed opportunity for university education, but for the timely intervention of his brother-in-law and later maternal uncle, according to his biography. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha tells us more.
University of Nigeria in Nsukka, the late Ernest joined Biafran Army when the Nigerian Civil War broke out, rose to the rank of second lieutenant, and later completed his studies in agricultural engineering in 1972. As Anambra Second Republic legislator in 1983, the deceased was said to have used his position as chairman, House Committee on Tertiary Education, to influence siting of the second campus of the then Anambra State Polytechnic, now Federal Polytechnic, Oko, at Ufuma. In his sermon during church service at the late Engineer Onyekwena's compound, Ufuma, Bishop Samuel Ezofo of Agwata Anglican Diocese, who spoke on plans and providence, reminded all gathered that life on earth is brief and more fragile than one can think of, saying it is foolishness for man to make plans in life without divine providence, as death is certain for all human beings.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking after interment, first son of the deceased, Dr. Obinna Onyekwena, described his father as one who dedicated his life in service to God and humanity, and with passion for education, food security, and youth empowerment, adding that he has been greatly influenced by his father's generosity, honesty, and fairness to all people.
His principles of hard work, living by honesty, integrity, fairness to all, fairness in all things, do not cheat and do not let other people cheat you. Be generous, people around you, generous.
On his part, an indigenous Anglican priest and retired deputy director in ABS, Reverend Canon Basil Oji, said the deceased was a renowned Christian, philanthropist, educationist, and a man down to earth, urging his children to keep the legacies of their father. In their tribute, read by a former member of the Anambra State House of Assembly who represented Urumba North constituency, Sir Uchenna Ogbonna, the Agwata Diocesan Council of Knights described their late colleague, Engineer Onyekwena, as a gift of God to humanity and prayed God to grant his soul eternal rest. From Ufuma, in Urumba North local government area, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Before we go tonight, remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS TV from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. On YouTube, we are ABS Television, Oka. On X, formerly Twitter, we are ABS Radio TV. On Instagram, we are ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news again tonight. Wife of Anambra Governor, Mrs. Soludo, has urged riverine communities to relocate. Anambra State government has warned traders against street trading. And finally, we told you the Nigerian Red Cross Society has called for construction of permanent holding centers for flood victims. To end the news, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total around maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. He's giving maximum support for the task ahead. And that's all on the news tonight. My name is Uche Chukwu Ibanam. Thank you so much for staying with us. Good night.